Hi and welcome guys. Today I have another special game I wanted to share with you. This one was played in 1914 in Naples between Siegbert Tarrasch, who was playing with white pieces, and Marotti, who was playing with black pieces. If you don't know, Siegbert Tarrasch is considered to be one of the best chess players in the late 19th and the early 20th century, and this game is special because it features one of the prettiest chess moves in chess history up to this day. So truly an amazing game, and I'm sure you will love it. We will go straight into the game. Game started with f4 for Tarrasch and d5 for black. This is bird's opening and Dutch variation of this opening. Knight f3 for white and c5 was played for black. White responded with e3 and knight c6 was played for black. This is a normal developing moves. White continues with bishop b5. The idea is to just pin this knight. Black continues with bishop d7 to remove this pin. White castles here and black plays e6, after which white plays b3 with the idea to fianchetto this black squared bishop. The game continued with queen c7, bishop b2 was played for white, and at the moment this pawn is weak and this stops black bishop from developing. That is the reason black played f6, white replied with c4, and black played knight c to e7. Black's idea is to trade this bishop here. Of course, computer sees this as an inaccuracy and sees a better move here, which is playing this knight on e7 as a better move for black in this position. So this is the computer's idea, playing knight g to e7. Game continued with knight c3. Right now white is defending this bishop. Game continued with knight h6 for black, as this is the only free square to develop his knight. Rook c1 was played for white, taking the advantage of semi-open file here. And now game continued with bishop takes on b5, knight takes on b5. Right now this queen is attacked and black has to move his queen somewhere. He played queen d7. Game continued with queen e2 for white, and right now knight c6 was played, which is an inaccuracy by computer's calculations. Computer sees the best move for black in this position is taking d on c4 as the best move and the best option for black. Of course this wasn't played. Knight c6 was played. Game continued with c takes on d5, e takes on d5, and right now e4 was played for Tarrasch. Of course, computer sees this as a mistake because black has d4 in this position, and computer sees this as a best move for black because it will block the position and it will stop possible attacks on this pawn, which will be very weak in the later game. So this is the idea for black in this position, and that is the reason why e4 was a mistake here by the computer. But white wants to open his e-file, and that is the reason why e4 was played. Black was scared of that and he played castle queenside here. Of course, this is an inaccuracy because d4 was better for black. White played e5 in this position, which is a great move because right now you are creating weaknesses on d5 and on c5 squares. Right now black plays a6 with the idea to push this knight away. This is an inaccuracy by the computer. This is not a mistake obviously, and computer recommends moving this rook on e8 as the best option for black in this position. Game continued with knight c3, and black now decides to play b5 to strike in the center and advance further with his pawns. White replies with a4 and black replied with b4. He wants to close the center, and right now this knight is attacked on c3. That is the reason why white played knight d1, and right now black played king b7, which is a logical and completely human move. Computer sees this as an inaccuracy, but black wants to protect his pawn on a6, which is a completely normal. Game continued with e takes on f6, and black replied with g takes on f6. After that bishop takes on f6, and right now two rooks are forked, but black saw that he can remove his rooks from this fork, and he firstly plays rook e8, attacking the black queen, and right now he will be able to remove his rook from the fork. Game continued with knight e3 for white, rook g8 obvious move, and game continued with queen d3 for white, right now putting the queen on even better square, putting even more pressure on this pawn and this pawn as well here. And game continued with knight g4 for black. His idea is to remove this very dangerous knight, and the game continued with knight takes on g4 and queen takes on g4. Computer sees this as an inaccuracy and recommends rook taking on g4 in this position, but at this moment there is a checkmate threat on g2, and white decided to defend this checkmate threat with rook f2. Game continued with queen d7. Right now black wants to protect this pawn, and now white played knight e5, which is a good move. Slowly but surely he's advancing with his pieces, and right now this queen is attacked and this knight is attacked. black is forced to remove this knight. Knight takes on e5, bishop takes on e5, and rook c8 was played for black. Again, pretty normal move. Black tries to do as much as he can to defend his position. And right now, queen f3 was played for white. Computer sees this as an inaccuracy. This is not a mistake and recommends moving this king to h1 here. This is the recommendation of the computer. And right now, black played king b6. Again, computer sees this as an inaccuracy and recommends queen c6 as the best continuation for black. Game continues with d3 for white, and black played bishop h6 with the idea to put this rook under a pin. Game continued with rook f to c2 for white. White is currently not scared of this pin, and he continues to put pressure on this c5 pawn. Game continued with d4 for black. Again, computer sees this as an inaccuracy and recommends bishop g7 as the best move, so he recommends trading the bishops on g7 square. Game continued with a5 firstly for white, check, and black played king b5, which is an inaccuracy. Computer recommends playing king a7 as the best move. In this position, white played one of the prettiest chess moves in chess history up to this day, and this move is bishop c7. Truly an incredible move, and now you might think probably, but what's happening with this move? Black can take with his rook and with his queen, and still this pawn will be defended. So you probably don't see the idea for white in this position, but I will show you. But before we go in all of the lines after bishop c7, I wanted to show you something else. After a5, what would happen if black king decided to take this pawn? Then the game continues with rook takes on c5 check, rook takes on c5, rook takes on c5 check, king b6, rook d5, black queen is attacked, queen c6. At this position, obviously, we have a rook d6 to pin the black's queen, but we have something even worse. We have bishop takes on d4 check, king c7, bishop e5 check, king b7, rook d7 check. Right now you cannot take this rook because this queen is pinned by the white's queen. King b6, bishop d4 check, king b5, rook d5 check. The only move for black in this position is queen c5, after which we continue with rook takes on c5 check, king b6, rook c1, and there is no way stopping the checkmate. For example, if black plays king b5, we finish with beautiful queen d5 checkmate. Firstly, I wanted to show you this before we go back to bishop c7 and this incredible move, and I will show you all the lines that could transpire from this position here. Obviously, after bishop c7, black resigned because there is nothing he can do and stop a checkmate from white. First, I want to show you what would happen if black decided to take this bishop with his rook. Rook takes on c7, then the game continues with queen b7 check. After this move, black has two options. He can either take this queen or he can take this pawn. If black decides to take the white's queen, then the game finishes with rook takes on c5 checkmate. After queen b7, if black king decides to take this pawn, then the game continues with rook a1 check, and the only move for black is queen a4, after which we finish with rook takes on a4 checkmate. So this was the first line. I will now show you the second one. So let's see what would happen if black decided to take this bishop with his queen. Then the game continues with rook takes on c5 check. The only left move for white in this position is to take this rook with his queen. Queen takes on c5. After this move, we continue with queen b7 check. And right now black has two options. Again, he can either play queen b6, after which we continue queen takes on b6 checkmate. Another move for white in this position is to take this pawn, after which we finish with rook a1 checkmate. This was another line I wanted to show you, so let's see what else can happen here in this position. Maybe black can try and play something like c4. Then the game continues with queen b7 check, king is forced to go on c5, and rook takes on c4 is a checkmate. Let's see another continuation. What would happen after bishop c7 if black decides to defend with queen c6? Then the game continues with rook takes on c5 check. The only move for black is queen taking on c5. After this move, we continue with queen b7 check. The only left move for black is to play queen b6, after which we finish with queen taking on b6 checkmate. There is another line black can try and defend this position, which is after bishop c7, black can try and play rook takes on g2 check. Then the game continues with queen takes on g2, rook takes on c7, but we continue again with queen b7 check, another amazing move. And right now black has two options. He can either take this pawn on a5 or he can take our queen. If he takes our pawn, we continue with rook a1, and right now the only move is queen a4, after which we finish with rook taking on a4. And after queen b7, if he decides to take our queen, then we simply finish with rook c5 checkmate. So this was all for today's video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. If you enjoyed it, please leave a comment, like and share this video, as it will help me grow my channel and it will help this video reach more people, and it helps me reach my goal of making this channel a primary source of my income. I really appreciate all of your support, and we will see each other in the next games. Have a nice night. Bye bye.